Good afternoon, you two.
Hey, Isaac.
Hey.
Are you on Vassal?
Just starting it up now. How are you two doing?
Good.
Awesome. Also, I was thinking last night when I went to bed, if you guys want to play in one of the future IACP tournaments, I would be more than happy to run a stream sometime so that you guys are, off the hook for that and can actually play.
Oh, I don't mind.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to offer the invitation in case.
Thanks.
Ooh. Okay, this is going to be interesting.
We've got... Derek has the tank, jet troopers, sentry droids. And we've got a Yoda, Diala, Ahsoka, Ezra, Kanan, Barry, Force User, Heavy. Ooh, Balance of the Force.
Very interesting. Are we live yet, by the way, or just...
No.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Just so I don't go full presenter mode.
No worries.
Is it starting?
But yeah, no, I'm
Ryan's
really
there?
excited.
Isaac's there. We're waiting for Derek.
Okay.
Classic Derek.
Yeah, I put
Classic.
you in already.
Are you using my mic or no?
Yeah. We're gonna do the same setup as before because it was a terrible echo before.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm just using mine because I'm talking to Isaac.
Should be a very interesting matchup because this map is ludicrously small, which is definitely going to lend to the Jedi's advantage a bit.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Derek can get the tank to be able to get its money's worth
Indeed.
before it gets lightsabered to pieces.
Yeah, so both of these players were my losses yesterday.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So it'll be interesting to see how their two lists match up against each other.
What's up, David?
Did you already set it to the right?
Okay, it looks like Derek
Yeah.
just popped in. Yeah, so I did get into Lord of the Rings, the card game, a couple of weeks ago, and I've been absolutely hooked on it.
Oh, yeah, I like that one, actually.
Oh, you played it too?
Mm-hmm.
Marvelous.
Okay, I'm gonna start the stream.
Beautiful.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of be fiddling the overlay and stuff, so if you kind of handle the chatting.
Yep, sounds good. I'll
Ready?
keep the stream. Yep, I am all ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, this is the Built on Hope podcast, streaming live from the IA Command YouTube channel, and today we are bringing you the top 4 matchup between Derek and Ryan in a very, very interesting matchup, which I'm very much looking forward to see. With us, we have got David and Jessica, as always, and as I'm not playing today, I will also be able to make the stream today, so hooray! And yeah. So, So, Jess, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
You're gonna have to talk to David.
All right, David, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I think it'll be quite interesting. So we saw we saw Derek play a couple of times yesterday. We also saw Isaac play, obviously.
Indeed.
And it really came down to whether or not he was able to kill enough with that tank
Yeah.
before it got taken out.
Yeah, which definitely makes sense. So I was not able to watch the final game between Tuka and Derek because obviously I was playing against Ryan, ironically enough. So I've actually played against both Derek and Ryan yesterday during the tournament, and they were my 2 losses during Swiss. So now at least I can honestly say that one of my losses was against a finalist. But yeah, so
you actually won against Tuka, right?
I did, yes. I was able to beat him. My list does seem to work best getting rid of Jedi lists. Ryan beat me fair and square. I definitely had him on the back foot in the beginning, but towards the end of the game, I made some positioning errors, and he capitalized on them beautifully, and just left me unable. He was able to get rid of a. He was able to get rid of a Royal Guard without taking any risk back from any sort of junk droid executor shenanigans. So it was beautifully played by him, and he pulled it out at the end.
Right. So
So-
we've seen quite a few of these Jedi lists
Mhm.
throughout the day, but I think this is the only one that I've watched with Yoda and Kanan.
Yeah, exactly. Both Yoda and Kanan is a combination I've not seen much. I did play against Yoda twice yesterday. Ryan's list was obviously one of them. He does seem to have made quite a big splash back into the meta, which is good. Which is really good.
Yeah. So what were the kind of latest round of Yoda changes do you think that pushed him over the top?
Cool. Honestly, I think making him that sort of defensive figure, where you could put him next to 3PO and next to another of your guys, say Luke or something, and you know that you will punish your opponent knows that they will be punished if they attack them, and the more dangerous your attack is, the more dangerous you will be punished back in return. So if IG run or let's say Onar runs it, focus and tools for the job, Onar's going to take 5 damage straight back to the face, whereas an elite stormtrooper is only going to take 2 damage back. And obviously, if we think proportionally to their health pools, that it does kind of balance out. But that's very interesting. I also think that a big difference was the fact that he was moved from 5 points to 4 points. The fact that he now is a little bit cheaper means that, for one, he can be swung a little bit more with strength and numbers combo. I know there was a discussion on the Slack a couple of days ago about strength and numbers. And that 4-point area means that almost all of the Jedi can now synergize together with Yoda to get some sort of combo off. Be that
I mean, the
draw
only one
card.
that was missing before that he couldn't strengthen numbers with was Diala, right? Because Ahsoka, Ezra, Kanan, most of them are 7 points. Kenobi as well.
That's actually true. That's a good point. But
So
yeah,
it looks like, I mean, he basically was able to add in balance of the force or doubt for that one point drop down as well.
indeed. So it does look like that is probably going to be a bit of a irrelevant card in this matchup, which is a bit of a shame. But hopefully he's able to get some sort of doubt tough luck combo off to nullify a tank attack, or just make a shot miss, or just reduce a ton of damage.
Yeah, I think actually Derek did have a couple of token generating abilities, so doubt might still get something.
That is true, yeah. Against my game against him, he did have some of those cards. The thing is, in my game, he was able to use them in the same turn he got them. So even if I did have doubt, that wouldn't really have played into it. But obviously, that'll just depend on when the card is played and how it's played, and what shots Ryan gives Derek.
Yeah,
So I think that-
in
so I
this
think-
matchup, the mission is going to be quite interesting too.
Very. So we've got two. Actually, we have only got 1 7 activation list. Derek is running 6 activations. And that on this mission is going to be a little bit tough, because you're not going to be able to get that rush in, no return holocam off. And for anyone who is not familiar with the mission, I'll just read it off here. We are playing on ISB Headquarters B, Reconnaissance. As a setup step, each player claims 5 mission tokens that match the color of his deployment zone. These tokens represent holocams. Figures can attack holocams, and they have health 4 and 1 block as a static defense buff. And then at the end of each round, each player may place 1 holocam he has claimed in a space adjacent to one of his figures. Then each player gains victory points equal to the number of hostile figures in line of sight to 1 or more of his holocams. So that is definitely going to make any sort of last activation bit very important, because I could definitely see Jedi Knight Luke running in late after the tank's activated, after everyone is activated, running in, drop off that droid at the end of a round in a really nice spot, get 4 or 5 points, and even if you have Son of Skywalker at that point, you can really get a lot of value out of Luke.
Oh, looks like we actually have our 2 players joining us.
Yeah, hey guys.
Ah, hello.
Morning.
Just ignore what we're saying about what you guys should do.
Oh.
Obviously you don't want that.
Yeah, can we get a nice recap of all the strategies you've broken down?
Yes. So what you'll want to do is leave all the Jedi back in your deployment zone and run the tank forward as fast as you can. Does that sound good to you two?
Master Yoda versus the tank?
Sure.
So, Ryan, we haven't actually seen any of your matches yesterday. How did it go? How do you feel like your list performed?
I think it's pretty interesting. I've only got 4 attackers in this Rebel Force user list. And I don't have any of those sort of small or medium attackers as kind of backup, although I did get R2 focused twice yesterday to attack. So, but there's something interesting here with Yoda and his wisdom ability to mill cards. I'm not using a lot of the typical leader card draw stuff. So like there's no Gideon in here to play planning.
Mm-hmm.
I've got R2 to draw cards, but I've really been taking advantage of that card mill to cycle through and kind of get dig out what I'm looking for there. I think the Yoda piece is really interesting.
And how have you felt about the Yoda evolution through season 3?
It's interesting. I noticed, especially late games, I really miss Yoda not having any way to deal damage, but he does have so many other abilities that I think keeps it balanced and makes it work. And he's still got access to cards that could help him out. Like Yoda could do a Force Surge if he needs to. So that's something.
Right.
But yeah, I think. Yoda dishing out damage in addition to all the other cool things he does is probably a bit much.
I mean, he does already deal out damage,
he's got the reaction, but when you need to finish off like a 1 or 2 points of damage on a figure, that's where R2 comes in, I guess.
And Derek, we've seen your tank performance vary quite a lot. And I think it depends a lot on your opponents and the map. So how are you feeling going into this matchup? You don't have to reveal too much.
I'm pretty happy with this because there's nothing getting long range sniping at my tank, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, having so many figures in my list means that likely Ryan's going to be scoring more points off of this one than I am, so that's probably my biggest concern with this map.
All right. Well, we'll hopefully catch up with you at the end. So if you guys are ready to start.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
And if you guys are able to handle the timer for us, that works. I think we're both pretty much ready to go. So.
Yeah, so
Yep.
if I just put kind of warnings in the Discord, I'll kind of at you, so it'll make a little ping. I'll
Yeah.
start at like 30 minutes,
Yeah, that's perfect.
giving you warnings. Cool. Okay, good luck, guys.
All right, thank you.
Alright,
Good luck, you two. All right. Well, it'll be very interesting to see how the two lists go up against each other.
Yeah, I think what really surprised me yesterday was how quickly Ezra can kill a tank
Yes.
with pummel and turning one of his dice, right?
I mean, Ezra's stupid pummel thing is going to kill anyone. I
think that game that I saw where Derek's tank died to an Ezra, he not only had fuel upgrade out on top of that defensible buff, but Ezra just gets whatever he wants. He got so many surges. He could still trigger every single ability,
Oh my God.
even through to evades.
My goodness. Hey. So speaking of the defensible ability, I do want to talk about that a little bit, because FFG has created two abilities of very similar names. We have defensible and defensive. Definitely not to be confused with each other. Defensible is the tank's ability to apply either +1 block or +1 evade to the defense results, whereas defensive is the ability on the Grand Inquisitor, which says if you do not roll a block, add a block to your defense results. So what do you guys think the Grand Inquisitor would look like in the meta if he had defensible rather than defensive? Because we don't see the Inquisitor played much, and his defensive ability is largely irrelevant. +1 block. When you don't roll a block, it's nice, but against a lot of lists which have some
It
pierces.
does bring up his it brings up his blank to a 1 block, and it brings up the single evade side to block evade, right? That's decent, but it's basically half. No, it's basically a third.
Yeah.
A third of the tank's ability, because it only works on those two sides.
Exactly, and the tank also allows to add, well, for one, it adds a symbol, so even if you do roll a block, you still add an additional one. But it also allows you to choose, and it's a modifier, so just like Zillow, you just wait until after all cards are played and everything like that, and you just see exactly. So, for example, you might need to force your opponent to use Ahsoka, to use Hera, to add accuracy, because you know that you're not going to get the surge for it, and just a lot of decisions like that. I think the tank is very interesting in making your opponent think.
I think it depends maybe on what you want the Inquisitor to be, right? So one of the problems is
true.
that he doesn't have so much kind of Force user support on the dark side. It's not so easy to build a Force user dark side list, even though some of their command cards are a bit cooler than the light side ones.
Very true.
I think adding a little bit of defense would help, but I wonder if there's more you guys can do in the future with command cards and maybe skirmish attachments that make his tags more useful.
Indeed, I mean, he does have one of the strongest mixes in the game. I mean, we got Force User Hunter, which is incredible. Is he a Brawler as well?
No, I think he's only got those two, right?
I mean, even without Brawler, that is, those are really, really rough combos.
Yeah, and his command card itself is really cool.
So I remember in the last IACP tournament, I actually did run a Hunter list, or an Imperial Hunter list using him. So the entire list was 5 activations. So I had the Royal Guard Champion and the Elite Royal Guard, seems to be a recurring theme for me nowadays. In addition to the Grand Inquisitor, Dengar, and 1 Imperial Officer. So just 5 activations. But the idea was the Royal Guards just keep the Hunters alive for as long as possible, because with extra armor, And, Dengar has his +1 static block. When he's next to a Royal Guard and he spends a block token, that's 3 static block plus a black die, which is pretty tanky. It's probably not as good anymore now that Iron Will has replaced, which is a great card, but it has replaced Soften the Blow, and Soften the Blow is a very, very good card for that.
So it looks like they're deploying, right?
Indeed.
Interestingly, it looks like Derek has not put the tank as far forward in the middle as he could.
I think that kind of makes sense, especially after his previous experience with an Ezra going up against a tank. I think he's trying to flank around, which I think is very interesting for a couple of reasons. One, it means that he's not at all dependent on what Ryan does with his door. He's able to kind of do what he wants to without. But also the blocking terrain and the impossible terrain means that those melee force users are actually going to struggle to get up there. So what I also think is very important to think about here is that there are no objectives on the board. The only way to get points from objectives is to place something in a space which will have line of sight to your opponent's figures, which means that if Derek stays exactly like that this entire round, if Ryan is going to get any points, he is going to have to move up. So it'll be interesting to see which of these players are going to take on a offensive role and who will take on a defensive role.
Yeah, I mean, so Derek's managed to drop shared experience with his rule by fear, which is probably one of the best cases for him, right? Since he gets to redraw at any time one of those droids or vehicles dies.
Exactly, and considering that basically his entire list is built up of droids and vehicles, that's going to happen a bunch of times. The focus, however, is not at all to be underestimated. It was used against me several times, and just redrawn constantly, because every time my Royal Guards would kill someone, they would just redraw the card, and, it was basically their ability to become focused every time someone died.
Right.
So they kind of got to steal my ability there. So it'll be very interesting to see. So looks like we've got the tank moving up as well, pushing the 2 sentries up a little bit. So that is a very, very nice sniping position right there.
It's his officer pushing the tank, right?
Exactly, yeah. And the officer then yeeting down to the terminal right there.
Yeah, so it seems like Derek probably wants to leave those doors closed, have that officer sit around safely, and maybe go around the side.
Especially considering the fact that if he does open his door, Ryan does have a lot of ways to draw cards, using Yoda to mill cards and using R2 to draw cards. He is kind of going to get the cards he wants with or without that terminal, as in with or without controlling the terminal. But if Derek gives up his terminal to Ryan, then Derek is only going to be limited to that 1 card around, which could be brutal because Derek has a bunch of good cards.
Yeah, so I guess which of the two do you think are currently favored in the long game if they wait to engage?
In the long game, it really depends on who plays defensively, because of the fact that there are no objectives on the board. Derek can just stay there and wait for Ryan to go up there to get any points. But in the same vein, the reverse is true as well. Ryan could just stay back until he draws all of his cards. Then maybe, I don't know what kind of spy cards he has in his deck. He might have stretch shift or something. Maybe just wait for a couple of rounds, charge up, focus everyone, have all the cards in your hand.
Right, and then dump Derek's hand and go.
Exactly. And then run in. Okay, so Yoda activating, focusing Ahsoka. So focusing Ahsoka kind of makes me think that he might be going for an attack with her soonish. Although then again, 3PO is closer to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well, the dialer does need a focus. But yeah.
In 2 rounds, all of his attackers will be focused anyways. He's only got the 4.
Exactly. Alright, so planning gets played. Looks like it was played by Derek there.
Yep, the other officer. That
Oh.
tank's gonna Gonna push up a little more.
Indeed. So that is a spot which now the melee figures or the Jedi can attack him. But what's interesting is that if we remember Imperial retrofitting, from that position the tank could move down 3 spaces, well actually 4 spaces, and he can kind of get some shots down into that corridor if Ryan moves his guys a little bit to the left. He can't quite get line of sight onto Ahsoka yet. He would need to move 5 spaces to do that. I also do recall yesterday that Derek was bragging that he had drawn fuel upgrade every in round 2, every game so far.
Yeah.
So let's see if he gets to do that again, because that is going to be very big against the Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, I think if that tank goes up 5 spaces and gets off a bunch of good shots on Ahsoka, it will probably die shortly after.
Agreed.
On the other hand, I mean, Ahsoka is only 7 points and the tank is 9 points, so even the straight trade is not so bad for Derek.
Indeed. Although the tank is without a shadow of a doubt Derek's best way to delete a single figure. The ability for him to focus fire 2 attacks onto the same figure. That is more damage than any group of jets or any group of sentries could reliably do, I would say. To be fair, the jets
sentries might surprise you because I'm pretty sure he's got concentrated fire and some damage token generating things. So they can pump up a little bit as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say, that they do have the command cards, which could push them up to the same level, but the tank is the only figure which, just with its raw stat line...
Yeah, he can deplete he can deplete retrofitting to focus it up for an extra boost as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he manages to time that properly, because we have seen Derek have a situation where the tank died before he could use that, which is a resource unspent.
Indeed. So the fact that Ryan has more activations than Derek here, I think is definitely to Derek's disadvantage, because if he does advance with a tank, that could be a rather painful experience for him if he's able to get some sort of Ezra, Force Rush and Pummel, or something like that.
Yeah, I think the end of round, start of round swings in this game are potentially very powerful because of Ezra's Brash, but also, I mean, Derek is running kind of that double jet trooper with extra roll by fear card draw, and you do always have the threat of the overrun Grenadier, call the Vanguard.
Indeed. So Call the Vanguard is definitely a card that he's going to have to watch out for, especially considering the fact that the sentries can use it as well. It's not just limited to the jets, although the sentries do lose a significant amount of power when they don't attack in their activation, because they can't use charged shot or their split fire. This looks like we've got some thinking going on, which makes sense, because this game, I believe, is going to come down to one early mistake. I mean, these are 2 amazing players, and I don't think that they will make mistakes, but I do think that one mistake made early, just one overexposure, could be very costly. What I also think is very interesting about the state of the game as of now is that because Ryan has the last activation and because of Derek's positioning, Ryan currently would be able to get 2 points off at the end of this round, kind of without any sort of retaliation, barring some sort of negation, stop take initiative, and the fact that initiative is going to Derek next turn is going to be a little bit scary for any sort of aggressive play.
Yeah.
Alright,
So the bottom door has been opened.
Indeed, Zayat are running up and opening that up. I think that's a good move. Because Derek's entire army is deployed to the left side of the board, opening lanes for himself on the right side means that he's going to be able to take that terminal, potentially take the terminal from Derek. Which, I mean, like we spoke about earlier, the fact that, getting rid of a terminal for an Imperial player is legitimately halving their card draw, whereas for Ryan, that's only removing it by a quarter. Because Ryan's got R2, he's got Yoda, which it's not a complete card draw, but it's as good as, more or less.
Yeah, looks like Kanan is activating now.
Mm-hmm. Curious to see who gets Force Visioned. Whether you go for the tank or the sentry at this point. Obviously, I don't think we will know the decision until after the activation. Also, something very interesting to note about Derek's list, which you guys probably spoke about yesterday, I'm not sure, but scavenged weaponry in this list. The fact that you can exhaust the card on the repulse tank to declare an attack. To apply +1 damage to your attack. That is a very interesting card, especially the fact that it bounces around to all of his attackers at this point. Because it's droid or vehicle. I mean, just like we spoke about with Shared Experience, all of his attackers are droids and vehicles.
Yeah, it's useful if you can control what dies first, and the tank is a big enough target that's probably quite likely.
But
So it doesn't look like they are being too aggressive. These are pretty safe deployments generally.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I think round two. I think there's going to be a lot of setting up, and it looks like both players are playing it pretty safe.
Which makes sense because this is the only map, I believe, in the rotation, which does not require you to go for objectives. A lot of matchups will mean that if you keep your entire army back, you're giving your opponent access to a lot of objectives. Take, for example, the Endor. Yeah, exactly, the Endor mission with those 2 zones. If you don't go and contest them, that's 10 points for your opponent.
Yeah. It forces the two teams into the center area.
Exactly.
So we're getting some sentry droid movement here.
From that location, they're covering that corridor pretty effectively, making it pretty dangerous to kind of come up halfway to set up to jump in next round.
Yeah.
So what is interesting here is the fact that we've got that back sentry moving up a space, which, yes, it does give him more options to shoot, but it also means that Ryan, if he does advance a little bit and place a holocam, is going to get 1 additional point. And to be honest, we might have some sort of bait going on here. Maybe Derek is aware of that and is placing the figure there just to tempt Ryan to place a holocam, because maybe Derek has some sort of negation with initiative coming his way and call the Vanguard combo, which could be brutal if Ryan exposes.
Yeah, I think if he's got negation, it will be very dangerous to put Ahsoka all the way up there.
Indeed. Alright, so Ahsoka hiding right around the corner, which makes perfect sense. In my game against Ryan yesterday, Ahsoka actually died round 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from a single focused Royal Guard attack. And Disorient, which he took as damage, and then Grizzly Contest. So that was pretty brutal hit, but he still pulled it back. But yeah, so he's probably not going to want to try and lose her as quickly this game.
Yeah, so Ahsoka is actually in position to hit most things on the other side of the map now.
Indeed. Such a fast and versatile figure.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how these positions are sort of broken and how they advance into the more, combat-heavy phase of the game. I
Indeed.
suspect it will be Derek to do it.
I'd say so too. Oh, urgency getting played. Is there an urgency on the tank? Or who played that? Oh, that is urgency on the tank.
Whoa, okay.
Interesting. Hmm. So, looks like he did use Imperial retrofitting. I'm presuming he used it for the movement? Because
Yes, it's exhausted, not depleted.
Yeah, but you exhaust to either gain assault or perform a move, and then deplete to gain a focus.
Right, but the tank doesn't need assault since it's
Yeah.
already got the ability.
Yeah, precisely. Although, I mean, assault is helpful when you do need to attack different units. And that is also one thing which we were considering, because the A2DP was obviously removed from the Imperial retrofitting card, mainly because it was able to use assault anyway. Okay, so an attack coming in here. So
R2D2 with element of surprise.
interesting. So I'm curious, what do you think his thought process is here? Because at this point, why wouldn't you go for the 3-shot at Ezra?
That is a good question.
It does cut down
R-
his card roll a little bit.
R2 is killable in this one shot because he played urgency, right? So that means he actually doesn't have 2 actions remaining.
Correct. He will be able to move back a little bit though, but it's not going to really be enough to get him out of harm's way.
Right, and as Ezra potentially is gonna chase down this tank still.
Exactly.
Hey everyone, sorry. I know there's some technical difficulties. Can you let me know if the echo has gone away? You guys are fine. It's just me.
Okay.
Good.
But yeah, I did hear it earlier. It sounded like it was coming from David's mic when Jess is talking.
So he has not performed an attack yet.
Indeed. Looks like there's some discussion going on. Looks like they're just looking at the card and retrofitting. Okay.
Alright, now it looks like Get Behind Me is being played.
So the attack now is going on a Jedi after all. But interesting here is that Element of Surprise is no longer going to work, I believe, because he has removed a defense die from R2's pool. But if he's not attacking R2 anymore, then the defense die doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure that's the ruling.
Yeah, so what about this attack targets you if able business?
So essentially it means that if it can target you, it does. If it can't, it can't. And then the attack just goes through as normal. So, I mean,
It's
could...
gotta be deflected to Ezra then.
I mean, Get Behind Me is allows you to move up to 3 spaces, though. 2 spaces adjacent to the figure that can be targeted by an attack. Okay, so Kanan moving up. Okay, that is interesting. Yeah, I'm very curious to hear the reasoning for this.
Ooh,
Whoa.
knowledge and defense.
Here's a knowledge and defense.
Well, that's going to be big. So Derek's sneak attack on R2 with no defense die suddenly turned into an attack on Kanan with 2 defense dice.
Yes, but it did just use up 2 2-point command cards on the
Indeed.
rebel side.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So this is quite a bold move. What
Yes.
are the odds of Derek having that negation for round 2 take initiative? Do you think?
Judging by the way he's playing, I'd say pretty high. But just looking card-wise, the odds aren't in his favor. Okay, so
Mm.
adding a black die. Doesn't look like there's any stellar rolls there on either side. Although the defense roll was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a decent defense roll. I think it's still a significant number of damage going through, though.
Indeed. Curious where that +1 damage is coming from.
Funnily enough, this attack right here is pretty survivable by R2 in the first place.
Yeah. Indeed.
I'm scared for this tank.
Yeah, same. Same. So I'm just bringing up the tank now because I'm very curious where the +1 damage is coming from.
I'm wondering if he's just counting what he's using
It's
the surges for.
scavenged weaponry.
Of course. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so it's like a defense die got rerolled. Okay, so 4 damage being taken.
Okay.
Then he's running back with his movement from retrofitting. Interesting. So
Ezra can still come up and hit him.
yeah,
He hasn't gone yet. And with his start of round brash, he can still back up again.
He can run back again.
Yeah. Who's still left to go with Derek's team?
no one. That was the last go.
So I've got
There we go. Let's see what Ezra does in retaliation for targeting his master.
Well, technically he didn't target him, but
Yeah.
ruling question about the tank's rapid fire ability. If something like
Yes.
Kanan blocks your line of sight to the original target you declared your attack on, do you lose your double action 2 attacks?
he's massive, so figures do not block line of sight.
Ooh, okay. Nice
that's right.
defense roll.
Yeah, good defense roll, not a stellar attack roll, and he's not going to get a reroll or a turn or anything.
Yeah.
Silo is getting
Surges
pierced.
are not so useful over surging because he doesn't need to recover at this point.
Exactly.
The
So
Pierce
look
3 is nice.
Indeed, but against Silo, it's only going to be Pierce 1.
Yeah.
And Derek at this point can add a block, which he does.
Could Zillow another block, but he's not got so many cards.
Yeah, he's taking 1 damage from this attack. That's not ideal for Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good trade.
Yeah.
Okay, he does get to redraw knowledge and defense, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find knowledge and defense to be one of the most annoying cards in the
Yes.
game at this point.
We've been seeing
I agree.
users are really popular right now, actually. Like there's
Indeed.
a lot of Jedi lists, and a lot of them utilize Force users really well.
Yeah.
So I've been loving seeing a lot more Ahsoka, Diala. I haven't quite figured out if I like Yoda yet. We'll see.
Yeah, indeed. I played against him twice, and he seemed good for his points. I mean, Yoda isn't, he's not supposed to be some sort of guy who just dominates the battlefield.
Mhm.
He's got
Sure?
some
Have
abilities.
you seen all of the movies?
It depends
Well,
when you catch him,
Yeah, exactly. So we were considering when we were designing him whether we wanted to create some sort of badass
long life.
prequel. Yeah, exactly. Whether we wanted to create some sort of badass prequel version, or if we wanted to create the more serene and calm Empire version.
Yeah, definitely.
We
I
did
mean,
decide.
you can save the prequel Yoda for when you release the rest of the prequel stuff, right?
Never. Which is never. So what's the range on Ezra's force users helping him out with the
3
uh-huh.
in range 3.
Yeah,
All right,
just
so
now.
holocam being placed right there,
That's
Mhm.
quite good.
and Derek placing a holocam in that space, which is not bad as well. So we actually go 2
Yeah.
points to Derek and 3 to Ryan. So at this point, it's really kind of come down to a negation or take initiative. If Ezra can get a pummel off, then we are in very dicey territory.
Yeah,
But
we've seen pummels with Tuka's match against Derek being really a big deal.
yeah,
Because he said he drew 2 pummels in one round, so that was pretty crazy.
oh god, yeah,
nasty.
yeah. I mean, both Diala, Ezra, Ahsoka, they're both really good at using pummel just with their free movement abilities.
Yeah.
Ezra's being a movement at the start of the round, Diala being able to push people. It's interesting.
It looks like Derek is not placing that holocam on the blocked terrain.
Interesting. They might have misunderstood that you actually can do it. So there have been some people who haven't believed that they could. But there's no reason you can't, because imagine that holocam is Boba Fett.
Yeah, exactly. And
If
you
Boba Fett
draw a
was
line of sight from one of your corners,
precisely,
anyways.
precisely. I mean, if Boba was standing there, you could attack him with a melee attack. Therefore, the space is adjacent, and therefore you can draw line of sight into and out of the space.
I think effectively it doesn't make any difference right now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
He can still see the 2 figures.
indeed. I do believe that the space one further to the right is just a better spot.
Here we go. Call
Ooh,
the
Call of
Vanguard.
Vanguard.
Very, very
Definitely
nice.
favorite cards.
Indeed.
But
It looks like it is the
no
sentry
fuel
going.
upgrade then. Because
Derek's
I
streak
would
has run
expect
out.
I would expect the fuel upgrade to come out first.
Oh,
just
yeah,
to give the
for
extra.
sure.
Indeed.
Ooh, the suspense.
Indeed. All right. So we're
On
getting a
land? Oh,
Well,
knowledge
no.
and defense, yeah.
Still good. So interesting using it here. I do understand the reasoning, but if there is negation in play, you're probably more likely going to want to use it for the tank double tap. I would think.
Yeah.
Okay, dice being rolled for the sentry.
no dodge, but 4 blocks is quite good for Ezra.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not bad. Yeah. A strong reroll. Very strong reroll. Life is surging for PS2, so it looks like we would be looking at 3 damage going on Ezra. And 3 is significant. 3 is nothing to be sniffed at.
And the knowledge and defense is out now.
Indeed. Indeed. Moving back again makes sense.
And Ezra does have the built-in block, but he doesn't have that much health. He's only at 10 health.
Looks like Derek did post in the chat. All right. I will just pop into their voice chat and let them know that they actually can place it in there. So I'll be right back.
Ah, right.
Isaac does happen to be one of the judges.
So that's 3 damage on Ezra. 7 more to go. I think that is in gettable range if Derek manages to keep initiative
Mm-hmm.
and go for a tank double tap.
Yeah, for sure. Especially because Ezra's on his own. If he had Kanan up there supporting him, that would be a big difference. But he's just that little bit too far out.
Right.
That Ezra, so brash, you know.
I mean, to be fair, Ezra can actually still run off now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then that does make it so that he is not effective. Right? You really want him laying the hurt on that tank.
Well, it depends on whether or not he has the pummel. If he,
Yes. True.
If he doesn't have the pummel, it'll just be one attack either way.
Right.
But even there, if you don't have the pummel, you're going to be able to run back and
Yes.
get into safety. If you do have the
That's
pummel,
what
and
we're
if you don't have
basically-
lamb,
Yeah, we were basically just discussing what he does with that brash. Does he use it to get out of there,
I see.
or does he stay and see
So
what
so it is
happens?
going to.
Take initiative.
And is there a negation?
Doesn't look like there is.
Okay.
There is
Oh
no
my.
negation.
Wow. All right. Well, interesting. But then again, at this point, what do you really do? Do you pummel? Because you're not going to get the turned die.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you just go for one attack, run back, or perhaps if you've got lamb in hand and are sure that Ezra could survive a little bit, maybe
Yeah.
you run forward with Kanan, force him to choose someone to activate next, and
Well,
then
if
just get him in range.
You've got lamb, surely. If you have lamb and pummel, you just pummel, try to heal up off the tank, and then when he shoots you, you lamb back into the corner.
No, I mean, but if you move Kanan first, which it looks like what he's doing now, then you'll get the die turn. And Ezra with the die turn,
We actually have an
it's
update.
significantly more damage. Mhm.
Noah says the FAQ specifically says you can't place holocams on blocking terrain.
What?
Yep. Apparently so. It's in the FAQ.
So you
Oh,
see-
that's
Go back
dumb.
and- go back and tell them.
All right, I'll go tell them FFG is dumb and the FFQ is wrong.
And you can tell them they have about 40 minutes left.
Cool.
Well, glad somebody knows the rules. Oh, Kanan.
so yeah,
Oh,
Kanan
okay.
is coming up now.
Okay. So we've got our indomitable duo. Let's see what they do with it.
The thing though is Kanan is very attractive to shoot at in
Yes.
these types of lists.
Black die instead of white die. I always found that interesting. Right? He has a black die defense?
Right.
Yeah.
And he protects Ezra
But not
a
himself.
decent amount, but not himself.
Yeah. Definitely in the Spectre Cell heyday, I chose to shoot at Kanan first.
Yeah, I would always try to kill Kanan before attacking Ezra.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Alrighty. Yeah, so it looks like the holocam thing is all.
Sorta.
Oh, yep. That is the best case roll you could have hoped for. So now you're going to be able to read.
Both sides.
Yeah. Because now you're going to be able to redraw knowledge and defense, which is going to be big, and still get the +2 PS3 off.
Well, remember the tank will probably get rid of one of those surges.
True. That is true. But yeah, so I do understand the rule, probably why they made it, because it means you can't just camp in the way of, you could say you have the top zone, you couldn't stand where that green jet is and then just place a holocam.
Yeah, and just
But
throw
st-
them out. Yeah.
Yeah, but just
You have to
from
kind of
from a gameplay perspective, it doesn't make any sense because the space is adjacent to you. So that's what FFG wants to do. Fine, but
Alright, so
Yeah.
Zillow's being tapped as well.
so it looks like he is searching for the PS3, which makes sense because it looks like you are going to get a significant amount of attacks with PS this round. Because what's interesting is that if the tank now decides to run back towards his terminal, he's running straight towards Diala, who could have her door easily opened by 3PO or Yoda.
Yeah, the question is, what are Ezra's chances of surviving a double tank shot and maybe an overrun or something like this?
That is true.
He's very strong with the reroll and with the knowledge and defense is gone. Unless he's redrawing it now.
He might be. It looks like he's taking 6 damage, and it is being redrawn, looks like. So knowledge and defense has been redrawn. And 6 damage on the tank. 6 left to go. But hey, I mean, an Ezra Pummel is gonna do it. It'll be interesting to see as well who it was that Derek decided to go with next from Force Vision. I would presume it's the tank. I'd be very surprised if it's not the tank.
Yep, it's the tank. So the tank is activating.
Price of Glory.
All right, so Price of Glory, he's gaining some damage. I think that's a damage and a block token. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense because the block essentially just nullifies the +1 the damage that he takes from taking it. So what's interesting here is that the tank with those extra movement points can actually really get far. He could move up and just run straight back into his deployment zone, which is probably a good idea. So it looks like a focus fire coming out, going onto Ezra.
So he has exhausted that Imperial retrofitting.
So I'm presuming he's not going for assault.
I mean,
Yeah.
so when you deplete Imperial retrofitting, if you've exhausted it already, you still have that movement banked, right?
Correct, yeah.
So he could even exhaust that retrofitting, bank the movement, deplete it for a focused massive attack, and then run the tank all the way back into the corner.
I mean, he could even perform 2 attacks. Because he has 6 free movement points. He could easily go 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, exactly. So he should get where he needs to. Alright, so +1 damage coming in. And Lamb getting played. That is painful, and here we see the weakness of focus fire rather than assault. Because now you're not going to get the second attack off.
Right. But
Interesting.
We actually don't know if Derek has focus fired or if he has taken the assault on the tank.
That is very true.
And there he goes.
All right, so there goes Ezra.
What's the rule for if the attack fails because of on the lamb? If there's another target, can you switch the target?
Not for this ability, no.
Alright, so it'll be interesting to see what the holocam does from here now, whether it runs back or if it did take the assault to perform another attack.
The tank?
You mean the tank? The holocams cannot run back.
Oh my god. I'm just raging about the holocam in my head, so...
I don't know,
Alright.
It doesn't bother me, the holocam thing.
I mean, just with
You
how
have to sit up
adjacency
on
and
the
blocking
ground, I don't
spaces
know.
works, it doesn't make sense. They
So the
are
tank
breaking
has
their own wording, but yeah.
opted to hang back, play it safe, stay
Which makes
there,
good sense.
shoot another day.
I mean, right now, I would say that Kanan is probably done for. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 sentry attacks and 4 jet attacks should be enough to deal 10 damage, even against a rerolling black.
Those jets can come out, shoot them, and get back to safety pretty easily as well.
Yeah, the mobile trait on the jets is amazing, especially for this little space here. It's really nice. Whereas the force users will have to go up the stairs. They'll have to kind of go around up the stairs in order to get to stuff up there.
Yeah, and Ezra without on the lamb is a little more gettable now.
Mm-hmm.
especially if after Kanan goes down, right? Ezra's defenses are nothing too impressive.
So it is Ryan's turn, right?
Right.
And he's already activated Kanan. I mean, he could do something like pull up Diala and push Kanan back.
That's true.
We'll see.
Indeed.
How does her push ability work, Isaac?
Dialis push.
Mm-hmm.
Choose a small figure within 3 spaces. Well, suffer a strain to select a figure. I'm just running it off the top of my head. Select a figure within a small figure within 3 spaces. And push it up to 2 spaces.
Up to 2 spaces.
Up to 2 spaces, correct.
Yeah, I don't
So
think Kanan can get to a safe spot being pushed from there.
Yeah, I don't
No.
think it's gonna work. Yeah.
I mean, if you get him a little farther away from the jets, though, that might be better.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the knowledge and defense still, but he doesn't have so much health. So we're just looking to see what moves are made next. I think it's pretty clear what Derek will want to do in terms
Yeah.
of murdering Kanan, right? But
Correct.
it's not so clear what the Jedi can do.
Yeah, because I mean, the fact of the matter is that if those jets are lucky enough to kill Kanan alone, and they don't even need to be too lucky to do it, those 2 sentries could take out Ezra.
Yeah, some of the jets actually can shoot Ezra as well.
Hmm. So a lot of it's going to come down to how many Jedi get killed this turn, because it doesn't look like any Imperial figures are getting killed.
Right, but we've got Yoda moving up.
Ooh, force push.
Oh, that's actually very big.
Yoda supporting his
Indeed.
student.
I'm guessing I'm a little curious why you wouldn't use Diala to move up, do her own force push, and then this force push as well. Because right now he's still open for a round of shooting.
I think the problem though is that once he's used Diala, he's almost out of attackers.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but Diala is not going to get an attack off this round.
Well, it depends what Derek does. If
That is true. If he does some sort of overrun thing, yeah, no, that's fair.
He gets his units out and sets up an attack, you might want to hold her back in case the opportunity presents itself.
That makes sense.
How much health does Yoda have at the moment?
I believe he has 9. I'll double check that. Yeah, 9 health. But he doesn't have his static block and evade anymore.
Right. I could still see some really brutal grenade plus overrun.
Yes.
Moves happening here.
Definitely.
Yeah, and you would be happy to sacrifice a jet for that.
Yeah, that would almost wipe out all 3 of those Jedi.
Yeah, that'd be pretty brutal.
So it looks like we've got an officer moving.
Mm-hmm.
Moving one of the blue jets out.
Mm-hmm. And that is the officer with advanced comm systems, in case anyone was wondering how he got into range. Okay, yeah, so moving up a little bit. It does look like there's some sort of overrun shenanigans coming up.
So this is very interestingly very different to all the other matches that we've seen. We have about 30 minutes left on the clock. The points are 2-3.
Yeah.
I just checked the stream and I was like, oh gosh, did I freeze it or something? No, that's the actual score.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the crazy thing with this mission, in that whoever has the most activations and whoever is able to be the most defensive is the one who's going to win. There is no incentive to rush out, like zero, because if you sacrifice Ezra to get 3 points from Holocam, there's no point. If you sacrifice the tank to get 3 points from Holocam, it's not worth it. So this is a mission which I do think is inferior to the onboard objectives, just for this reason, because there's no incentive for any of them to do anything until the other person does something. And the first person to do something will be at a disadvantage.
It's nice that it's in rotation with Endor, which is the other way around, with the very lots of points in objectives forcing you into that center area. So it's a nice counterpoint.
Yeah, no, that is definitely cool, that you've got both areas, or both types of map.
Provide interesting challenges for list building.
Agreed.
All right. So, how defensive is Yoda's ability going to be here for?
We've got Ezra
him?
activating.
Looks like it.
He's so bold.
Is he attacking the Holocam? Or is this another one of his tricks that he played against me yesterday? Nope, going for the Holocam.
Yep.
Cool, that makes sense. Oh, looks like he's taking the wrong Holocam, though.
Attacked his own Holocam, yes.
Yeah, let's hope he's going for the blue one. Yep, looks like he's... There we go. It will be a little bit... Because in the rules, there's nothing that says you can't attack your own Holocam, I believe. So, rules-wise, that would be a mistake, not an illegal move. Right.
All right,
So-
Ezra, show us your moves.
It's a horrible attack, but then again, you're within 3 of a Force user, so even the worst roll is going to be great. Definitely enough damage. And would appear that he would be redrawing...
I think he already has it, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that is true. Well, he'll be able to recover anyway, which is going to be a pretty big deal.
And Ezra is standing in front of Yoda here.
Interesting. Nope. All right. Just
Never
temporary stop to wipe his brow.
Mm-hmm.
Yoda doesn't need protection.
Exactly.
Although that space protects Yoda from the jet troopers.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true.
And we've got sentry droids activating.
Mm-hmm. Is this where we see Kanan explode?
Possibly. I mean, I would not be surprised to see those sentries doing 6 damage,
So he
or
has
10 damage in 2 attacks. He has got 14 health, yeah, so 10 left.
But Yoda's abilities will make this a little less painful.
I mean, it'll be just as painful, but you'll be able to spread the pain to the opponent as well.
Yes. Psychologically less painful because you get something out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so why don't you quickly explain the new Yoda ability while they're getting ready to shoot?
Indeed. So, the new Yoda figure has an increased, he's got a brand new defensive ability called Force Deflection. After an attack targeting you or an adjacent friendly rebel figure resolves, you may have the attacking figure suffer damage equal to the number of dice rolled. Attack dice rolled. limit once per round. Which means that if he triggers it on this attack, that is going to be an entire 3 damage on the sentry, which is not at all insignificant.
Wow,
Ooh,
What?
3 block.
great rolls.
The evade isn't doing much, but that could pretty easily be rerolled.
All right, +1 pierce 2.
Yeah, exactly. So you're probably going to want some more block rather than an evade. Because he doesn't need the accuracy with the 3 and the +2 and 8. Yeah, there we go. That's a lot better.
Nice reroll. Mm-hmm.
So with the PS2 +1 looking like 2 damage going through. So
Not bad.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, good
knowledge
roll.
defense card really doing work.
Yeah. One of the
But-
most efficient 2 points in the game.
There are plenty more attacks coming.
Yes.
Oh yes. We do not need to worry about
Up to
them not
5,
doing enough.
5 more, I guess.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we have other figures that could come up and block and spread some of the damage around if that's something that Ryan wants to do.
Actually,
Also-
I don't think they can, because all the rest of the jets can actually shoot from that blocking terrain
Oh,
square.
right.
So there
Mhm.
is no way they can block him off.
Right, right.
This is quite a long range shot right here.
Looks like it's enough range. So with the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the innate 2 from
Mhm.
a charge shot, that is just enough. In addition to the surge for +2. So.
Right.
But not a great roll there.
No, but he's chipping away at Kanan.
Exactly, which will be enough with all the jet attacks coming in, especially if we've got some sort of overrun grenadier combo.
And we just have Diala.
Diala and Ahsoka. So Ahsoka could do some work. She might even be able to get rid of one of those jets before they activate. But that would leave her directly in line of sight to the tank, and that's maybe not something you want to do.
Yeah, I think that would put Ahsoka really far up there. I think she can just about hit that blue jet trooper if she goes all in, right?
Yeah. Alright, so looks like we have 20 minutes left on the round. This has been a very cagey game.
Yeah, we're still at the same VP.
Yeah, but it does look like Derek is going to get some more points pretty quickly. So unless Ryan is able to do something big very soon, Derek could just take the Kanan kill and then just stay back until time is called.
Yeah.
He does need to kill that other holocam though. That'll give a couple of points every round.
Only if it has line of sight to anyone. Right now, it can only see one guy who could easily move out of line of sight.
I can
Mhm.
also see his officer.
That is true. That is true. But the officer, I believe, has not activated yet. Oh, yes, it does.
He
Okay.
still has quite a few activations left. What does he have
Indeed.
left?
He's only got 2 jets.
Jets, yeah.
2 sets of jets against the 2 Jedi.
Mhm. Very interesting. And it does look like Derek will be taking the last activation because of take initiative. And that's going to be pretty big. I mean, we spoke earlier about just how important initiative will be in this game.
Oh, Diala activating.
Ooh.
She does.
Might be moving,
Back there.
indeed. But she might be able to move Kanan out of harm's way.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering as well.
But there is no safety from an overrun Grenadier combo. But Derek does only have 3 cards in hand, so
Yeah.
the odds of him having both are pretty low.
Well, they're probably overrun Grenadier and Celebration.
I would not be surprised. Yeah. Well, let's see if they even make it to the next round.
I think they will.
So for some reason, Diala is targeting 3PO.
I'm presuming that's a force push? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means Kanan will not be getting
Yeah.
out of there.
That's interesting.
And 3PO was exhausted already, so he will not be going up to provide those defensive.
What's this?
Celebration.
Uh,
For the strain.
Strain, yeah.
That's-
celebration.
That's
That-
not bad at all.
Yeah,
That's
that's
That
great.
is. Yeah,
Because
because
he
he doesn't
doesn't
have
have-
any unique figures.
Yeah.
Oh, opening a back door and taking that
Oh.
terminal.
Okay. Bold.
Yeah, let's just hope Dial doesn't get deleted by the tank, which is a big possibility.
Yeah, so we've got jet troopers activating.
They're going
Hmm.
for. I mean, maybe Ryan's plan is to draw fire, take some off of Kanan,
Yeah,
and hope to keep all of his figures alive into round 3.
indeed. But the other blue guy could go up and throw a grenade, and then one of the green jets could be using overarm. So
Right.
very good attack roll.
That is
Mhm.
about as good as it gets for
Yeah.
the jets, right?
Yeah. So five damage by a jet. That's
I love jet troopers.
that good.
Part of it too is just their mini is amazing. But
Oh yeah, they're
just good.
gorgeous. All right. Oh, he's only moving 2. Is that a grenadier? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Ow, ow, ow. If that's the 3,
Well, we have seen the 1 rolled multiple
yes.
The
times.
Okay,
two,
so the-
it's the 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so the 2 is actually not, it's not too bad. But the thing is, he really needed that 3 because now he will need an attack to go into Kanan to kill him. Because Overrun will not get him now.
Mm.
If he had gotten the 3, he would have taken him to 12 damage, and then he would have been almost dead.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't get this Kanan kill, Ryan could just run away with Kanan and just deny those points, because this is such a cagey game that denying 8 points.
Yeah,
huge.
for sure.
Big.
That is a valid strategy.
Yeah. Alright, Ahsoka coming out. Well, activating at least. We'll see whether she comes out or not.
Intel.
Oh,
Okay.
Intel
She
leak.
is a spy. I've forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and there is Overrun. Oh my god!
Overrun.
David, you were right. It was Grenadier Celebration and Overrun.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my.
So which one is going to be ditched?
I mean, that is a good point, because Overrun is good, but Celebration is
That's
a big point swing in this game.
especially with such a low point value game.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. What is going to be interesting, however, is whether Ryan has access to negation. If he's got that in his hand. Oh, so Celebration did get thrown.
Okay.
Wow.
Play around the overrun. Okay.
Very
It's
interesting.
hard to play around Overrun.
Yeah, I usually play underneath Overrun.
I mean, you can stay further away. You can fight the jet troopers. You can kill them before they can do it. You know. It's not like a insta win.
No.
You do have to manage to use it in certain situations. So
All right,
Ahsoka
it's-
is coming forward.
Very aggressive. It's Ahsoka hitting that jet trooper. I think at this point the strategy is target saturation. Everything comes in and hopefully it doesn't all die, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pretty decent. Now she can re-roll. I might re-roll this attack roll.
Yeah, I would reroll the attack roll. It's way over surging here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you say that, but there is knowledge and defense still in play. But it looks like he's rerolling, which makes sense. That is not any better.
But, it's one more surge.
Yeah, I mean, now he can't convert to an evade to reduce the surges, which is nice, I guess. But looking like we got 5 damage PS3, and PS are not going to be able to be stopped. Actually, no, it can be stopped. But it doesn't really matter because he only got 1 block anyway. So looking like a base 5 going through and knowledge and defense being redrawn.
Redraw, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So that's quite harrowing still. I mean, I still feel the move is get rid of Kanan.
Yeah, for sure. Just because of the huge point swing. Okay, so the front jet activating. Playing overrun. Makes sense. Very nice. Hitting all 3 of those figures for an additional 2 damage. Which then opens the door for the next guy to go. And he will be able to get line of sight and range to Kanan from there. Yeah, if he gets this kill, that's huge.
So interestingly, what I might have done actually was to play that overrun, but actually just walk up 4 spaces, shoot Kanan, and then overrun him with the 2 points after the attack, and just leave Ezra and Yoda alone.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a valid strategy.
Because now he's
Nice roll.
okay.
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
roll.
didn't even need it.
Interestingly, Kanan did not play knowledge and defense.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. You know, you could use it to go for the white and hope for the 1 in 6 for the dodge, but apart from that, you know, initiative is definitely Derek's.
Big swing.
Very big.
9-3. Woo!
And 10 minutes left on the round, so this is going to come down to it. I'm presuming that the top cut has the same rules, where 75 minutes and then the additional 10 and then the hard stop.
Right.
Alright, so Dying Lunge. That is going to be big. Because Yoda did splash the damage back onto that jet. So if Kanan can now kill that jet off, that is actually a very, very nice...
Brings it back to 7.
Yeah. 7 to 9 is more achievable, but that tank is still very, very healthy. 5 health with a block token and with defensive and Zillow is nothing to be scoffed at.
Right. That's not the defense roll the jet needs.
No.
No, that is a very dead jet. Okay, so he's dead. Kind of evens up the score a little bit.
9-7.
Mm-hmm.
Command cards are quite depleted now.
Indeed.
I think it's still anyone's game, though.
Yeah, I think it definitely is still.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because you have that officer that can be killed by Diala there. You have this jet trooper next to Ezra. Ahsoka is within striking distance of those jets. Those are a lot of points, but conversely, Diala could go down. She's already damaged. The tank's still very healthy and could do a lot of hurt to Ahsoka. We'll have to
Indeed.
see.
So what will be interesting is that if Ahsoka is able to deal 3 damage to the tank with her attack, which, you know, I think that's doable, 3 damage, then if she has 4 surge in hand, that would be a dead tank. And I think if Ryan kills the tank right here, that is probably a win for him, I dare say, because those extra 10 points, I think, will be enough to take him over the line. The Jets might be able to take out Ahsoka in retaliation, or maybe take out Ezra, but
Or Diala.
Or Diala, yeah. I mean, those two sentries are not to be underestimated.
So we're getting some holocam placements now.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Do holocams block line of sight for other holocams?
No, because they're just objects.
Right.
Okay, so Ryan placing one above Diala. That's a very handy spot. Allows you to see the tank and the officer, in addition to already seeing the jet with the other holocam.
Yeah, that placement by Derek there is really quite nice. So
Yes.
that's 3.
4 points actually, because that's Ahsoka, Ezra, Diala, and Yoda.
Oh, I can see Diala. Oh, yeah.
So 13 to 10. This is going to come down to the absolute wire.
Man, it was so low for so long.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's still
still
very low
low.
considering that we're over an hour in.
Yeah.
like the first activation will will have a big impact.
Oh, that's
feel
going to
it.
be big. That will be very big. Well, let's see if there's... Okay, so there is an Ezra Brash going on. I mean, at this point, you probably just move him back to the terminal to keep him outside of line of sight of the tank. Because that tank right now could move up and very likely delete Ezra.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, the 3 damage that he would take from Yoda is actually really dangerous for that tank.
How much health does the tank have left?
5.
Hmm.
Okay, so Ezra moving back a little bit, makes sense.
Is that with Brash?
Yes. Well, I presume it's with Brash.
Or not.
Oh, Ezra is so brash he ran back.
He's so brash he just wanted to stretch his legs for a little bit.
He just needed to check on 3PO. Hey, you okay, buddy?
No, he's not okay. You keep dragging him to these weird places. You know, he's just a translator, protocol droid.
A tank? A tank? Why does nobody tell me anything, R2? It'll be interesting to see where exactly it goes, yeah. Because maybe it's worth it to sacrifice Ezra for the tank, because it's a, you know, points-wise, that's more of a win for Ryan than it is for Derek. It'd be 7 points versus 10.
Well, you also have that hyper aggressive play where you just spam white dice with the knowledge and defense and
Yeah.
So it looks like Ezra is choosing to stay there. The tank is activated.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because honestly, at this point, you might just go and try and delete Diala. She's probably the kill you're most likely to get.
Yeah.
right.
And
That's
the one...
That's what I was thinking. I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't even have to move to go delete Diala.
No, exactly. You could just do it and then just
He's
tuck back
doing it.
even further.
The retrofitting.
The retrofitting has
Been depleted. Well, then I presume you're not attacking Ezra then, because taking 4 damage would be pretty painful. Ooh, he might actually be taking the assault here, because if he can kill Diala in 1 hit, he'll probably want to be able to attack Ahsoka as well.
Ahsoka, right?
Right.
Very, very interesting.
This will be huge, though. Whether the Jedi dodge at this point,
Oof, yeah.
or
Yeah,
whether
if
they
these...
just die.
Yeah, if the attacks here are dodged, that's very, very bad. Well, bad for Ryan. Good. Well, no, bad for Derek. Very good for Ryan.
So he's ammoed up, just choosing his target.
Yep.
Indeed.
Scavenged weaponry.
I'm going for Diala. Whew.
Is he adding the +1?
Yes, he is. I think he was. Yep, there we go.
Now he is. The
I
+1
don't think the dodge is going to happen.
focus.
I mean, if you're Ryan at this point, you probably play knowledge and defense, and then you probably add the white, just
Right.
to try and get that dodge.
It's a 30% chance of getting a dodge. at this
Yeah,
point. It's not that unlikely.
and technically higher because there's already been a bunch of white die that haven't been dodges. But then again, Trevor.
That's not how statistics work. That's how probability works.
Oh, tell that to Trevor.
I need to call your maths teacher.
No dodge.
Well,
Mhm.
bad white though. Bad red though.
Oh,
Oh God.
no! Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Derek.
Okay. Oh no.
It's the weapons jam malfunction
Ugh.
dodge.
Wow.
Yoda
Is that
like
3
bent
damage?
the weaponry.
3 damage, but Diala does have a reroll, so you probably just reroll the black one.
Yeah, can't get worse.
It could
I
go
guess
worse,
good tough
but-
luck.
Yeah, and
Oh.
you could also reroll into the evade, but it's.
Yeah.
Oh, oh my God.
The force is with her.
That
I
is
told you
one.
there wouldn't be a dodge.
Where's the tough
Yeah.
luck?
Yeah.
If there's tough luck there, that would be big.
Oh.
What was that?
A card
oh.
has
that was-
been moving around.
Oh no, nothing happened. Whew.
Oh no. That's 1 damage.
Oh, it's knowledge and defense.
No, just making sure it's able to play it. Wow, 1 damage from attack.
Oof,
Ay.
that sucks.
Yeah, that's kind of not what you were hoping for when you focus it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and use scavenged weaponry. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly Ryan is not of the same philosophy as some of us who believe in luck. 'Cause he's always adding that black die instead of the white.
I've actually seen a lot of Jedi players do that, which I find very intriguing.
I like the black die myself.
Yeah, no, I mean, playing against him, I love the black die as well.
That is time on the round. Isaac, can you tell them that they have 10 minutes overtime?
Indeed, ladies.
Ooh, it's close. 13 to 10. So that's done for the tank? No, it still has
It's
another
a second
action.
shot.
Mm.
Not bad. Not bad.
Okay.
That is a decent attack.
Yeah, it's a lot better, but it's still not a great attack.
And we've got the possible reroll coming out here.
Indeed.
How much health does Diala have left?
12, so this is not going to kill her regardless.
Six left, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's 6 left, which means this attack is doing 4 damage with the PS2. Oh, actually, there's no PS. No PS.
It's got
Essential
a
+2.
+2.
Okay, so it's doing 5.
If Diala rerolled, though, and there was a tough luck.
Or if there was a blank. I mean, Derek has no cards in hand, but if she blanked, she would have died. So, makes sense not playing any cards.
How much health does Diala have now?
1.
Ooh.
Yeah. And now, yep, she's activating.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is here, you probably just run her out. I mean, again, this is a game about denying points.
Whack that
At this
officer,
point.
run away?
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
say so.
I would just run away. Forget the officer.
Well, what about you could run around into this corner? 'Cause
Yeah,
she has
exactly.
5 speed. She could
Exactly,
hit him and then
and
go
rem-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into that corner.
That's true.
I don't think
Precisely,
he'd
and
actually
remember
go
that Derek doesn't have any command cards in hand, so he doesn't have any movement shenanigans. So yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like she is going for the officer.
If the officer survives, though, it can come and hit her.
That's true.
That is true.
That's true.
That is very true. No.
No.
Dead. Dead. And redrawing knowledge and defense.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Orion is pulling this back. We are now 13 to 12.
It is gonna really come down to it.
It is legitimately going to come down to who is currently activating at the end of the 10 minutes. Because I don't see them finishing this round in 10 minutes.
No.
So it's yeah, they have to. Okay,
Push
getting
in
rid of
3PO.
tough luck. Yes, so tough luck with a force push. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good choice. Just leave him there for a defensive buff.
Yeah. Okay. Whew.
All right.
Well, the tank's no longer a threat. But the jets could definitely take out Yoda or Ezra.
I think there is definitely a chance of 2 attacks coming out on Yoda or Ezra right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. But also, that blue jet needs to get the heck away from Ahsoka. But then again, I mean, it's Ahsoka. There's no such. Yeah, that is true.
There's no getting away.
That is true. Yeah, I think Ryan might have pulled this one home. That just missing to kill Diala, I think, really
Yeah, that was huge.
sells it. Because
That was a rough roll.
Yeah, because if that hadn't happened, Derek would have been up by 8 points. Actually, technically 12, because Ryan wouldn't have gotten the 2 from the officer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then even if you do kill the tank, then Derek is, still up at that
The
point.
jets activating.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
All right, this is going to be 2 shots. Is it Yoda?
No.
Interesting. I guess you might not want to go against a block and an evade.
I think that's not the problem. The problem is that second jet will die attacking Ezra if Yoda is still there.
That is true. That is a very good point. Yeah, I doubt a jet could do 5 damage, but hey, I've seen stranger things. No. That is a exact 0 damage. Ouch.
Yeah, the knowledge and defense is really doing work.
Oh yes. That is a absolutely incredible 2 points investment. Oh, I do think Derek might have forgotten the deflection ability. Uh-oh.
Second attack on Yoda.
Yeah. 3, not quite enough. And then we'll probably have the jet die in return.
Yes. So that is a dead jet trooper.
Very dead jet trooper. I mean, if Ezra has pummel here, or even if Ahsoka has pummel, to be honest. This is it's not looking great for our Imperial friend.
Yeah, he's down by 3 points. And how much time do we have left?
5 minutes. But Noah's made a good point that we don't have any Swiss rounds after this. We could have them play out the whole round.
I don't think we should change the.
Yeah, no, I think we would have needed to decide that before the game.
Yeah.
All right. So Ezra pummel on the jet. Yeah. Yep.
Ezra does Ezra things.
Classic Ezra. That's what? Let's say Zillow gets
Actually,
tapped.
Not enough damage.
But pummel, it's gonna be
Yeah,
enough.
he's got a second attack.
Yeah, drawing knowledge and defense again. Hooey. Oh, that's true. He would have had an extra evade from fuel upgrade.
Yes, but having extra evades against, 4 surges is not that useful.
I mean, it is against Ezra because the surges would be +2, PS3, recover 2, and redraw not shed experience. Oh
Knowledge.
my! Has Derek been redrawing shed experience? No, he has not.
All right, so I've just spoken to both of the players. They would like to finish the round. So we're going to
Okay.
play to the end of the round.
Cool.
Okay.
That sounds fair.
Six damage. And we will have another attack.
That knowledge and defense coming out again.
So we still do have an Imperial officer and 2 sentry droids to go.
Hmm.
What's that card?
Not sure.
I think that was the knowledge and defense card.
Oh, being redrawn.
They were just looking at it.
Cool. Right, so it looks like the PS3 was not used for the attack,
Aha.
as the damage has been reduced significantly.
And
Um,
the Zillow hasn't been tapped.
Indeed. Which, I mean, kind of makes sense, because I think you probably need to save Zillow for the tank.
Yeah.
Oh, Ezra.
All
Yep.
right.
Yeah, I mean, just turn the green to the 2, and then you've got it. Because there's no cards for Derek to throw.
Right.
Although I suppose you could turn one of the yellows to the damage surge, considering that... And it looks like he's going for the extra greens.
Right.
Makes sense. So that'll be 4 damage, unblockable, going straight through.
That'll do it. That was actually kind of a narrowly killed jet trooper, considering the Ezra pummel.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now Derek is down by 7 points.
Yeah, I can't really see him killing any of those Jedi.
Is it Derek's turn?
Yes.
All right. So he's got both sentries still to go. I mean, they could shoot at Ahsoka.
I feel that would be kind of a waste. I think the likelihood of killing Ahsoka is almost 0.
Yeah, but that one sentry there at the very back doesn't really have a shot at Ezra. I mean, no, it could go around the other side. What's their speed?
4.
I don't think he has a shot. This sentry here, I don't think can make it to shoot at Ezra either, right?
No, they...
Yeah, so you might as well shoot at Ahsoka. And then you just have the one lone jet. Oh no, it's activated already, right? So it's just the sentries left.
Yeah, just the sentries. And
Right?
that officer. The officer could
Ah,
have moved
okay.
one of them.
Right. I don't know. What do you think is the play with the sentries?
It's a good question.
Ahsoka 12 health, white die. And she can get block tokens. Oh, she has tokens. It's looking pretty tough for Derek.
It looks like that officer has activated actually,
Mm-hmm.
and has
Push
moved
the sentry.
right. Moved that sentry up.
Yeah, maybe to get it to have a shot at Ezra. But the other one will definitely not be able to have a shot.
Yeah, and Ezra is actually healed a little bit now.
Yeah. Well, the other one can shoot at Yoda, actually. Right?
Yes.
R2 protecting Ezra.
All right.
That sentry could try to take out both droids with multi-fire,
Multi-fire.
right?
That's true. I mean, the likelihood of him killing them is low with that -1 damage.
Yeah, but with a 7-point deficit, what do you think is the play? Oh, that's a really good shot.
That is a very good shot.
Indeed.
And R2's defense is
3PO.
not 3PO's defense is not doing it, but he does have a reroll.
Mm-hmm.
We could see the first dodge of the game.
I think it's been re-rolled because it has the red border.
Has it already been rerolled?
Yeah.
I doubt
Isn't
it.
that what the red border means?
No, so the red border just means it's
Being
currently highlighted by one of the players.
okay.
Yeah. It's the grey surrounding area, which means it has been rerolled. But a lot of people delete the simply
Oh, we've
delete.
got doubt being exhausted.
Is that a doubt depletion?
Depletion, probably.
Yeah, probably.
So he might tough luck the yellow die.
Or the green. I mean, the green could get worse, but the yellow could get better.
I think either way, it's enough to save 3PO though.
Depends on what the reroll does.
Oh, he has 3 cards in hand. But tough luck is out, so it is just a reroll.
I think they're considering.
Yeah, maybe the move is actually to reroll that 2 damage green die then.
Yeah, because there's so many surges already that oversurging would make it a worse roll. So what would Derek have to do to win, though? Kill both R2 and 3PO and Yoda, right? But
Yeah.
then there's points from cameras as well. They still do happen at the end of the round.
That is true. That is very true. Okay.
It's going to be a living 3PO.
Yeah, maybe you try to go
Ouch.
for both droids and camera points or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Problem is currently you're only doing 3 damage. So
Mm.
that's painful. But let's see if you can get R2. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually think it's possible. R2 has 6 health.
Yeah, you could roll 2 on all of them. Oh no, yeah, that's
He's
true. You got the minus
minus
1.
-1.
Oh,
That's true. Yeah.
rough.
Right.
And
Well, you
that's-
got the reroll on the yellow with targeting computer. But still, it's not going to be
yeah,
enough.
it's still far
Yeah.
from enough damage.
Yeah, 3 damage going through.
This is where he needs the grenade.
Yeah, exactly.
Another grenade.
Yeah, I mean, why not create another Grenadier card? I'll have a chat to the committee about it. We need more Grenadier cards in the game.
Mm-hmm. You know, or just play Sabine.
Yeah, just run Sabine, Saskia, and Troopers. Done.
So, the other sentry is coming out.
Probably popping a shot at Yoda. Yeah, there we go.
Yoda actually feels very tanky for his points. I think
He
it's
does.
extremely rare to have actually more health than twice as many points.
Hmm.
The main examples would be Onar and maybe the Bantha, but that's because they don't have a defense dice, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yep. And then you've got that knowledge and defense. I mean, my perception is that Yoda is actually really hard to get rid of. You have to invest a lot
Yeah.
for what
I
he
mean,
is.
he doesn't have his static block and evade anymore, which is good, because that
Yeah.
was a little bit crazy. But yeah, still not a lot of damage going through.
Good rolls though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look. I mean, just look at that. Not even a great defensive roll, but still, that's what we've got 3 damage going through.
So sadly, if he had not done the multi-fire, I think he would have killed
Oh.
Yoda right here.
He would have needed to deal 1 more damage somehow.
They have surge for +1, right? Yoda's got 5 health remaining.
Yep. But he's got the -1 versus 1 block and 1 surge.
Yes, I mean if he didn't have the -1, if he had just done a normal shot. He's got 2 surge blocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, he's one short.
Ooh.
Okay, well Yoda is on 2, but I believe that is it in terms of attacks from the Imperial side.
Does look like it, yeah.
He will try to take out this holocam.
Mm-hmm.
Does succeed with that.
Multi-fire was for.
Yeah, looks like it. I guess makes sense, but I mean, Ahsoka's going to be able to put 1 down wherever she wants.
Right.
Yeah, so at this point, you might just go with. Oh, wait, did he fail to kill it?
No.
Oh my god, you did.
No.
Yeah, the -1 damage is really killer.
Oh, multi-fire killed him here.
I've talked to Tom about it a lot, and we we almost feel like the multi-fire is a trap sometimes. You
Yeah.
really need soft targets.
Or if you are just laying down fire for something else to happen later, like as an early game mechanic.
The problem is you also lose the accuracy. So
Mhm.
you're not so good at sniping with multi-fire, right?
Right.
All right, and we've got Ahsoka coming in with a wild attack on the tank, spending a damage token.
Oh!
Okay.
Well,
The
well,
dodge.
Well, Soak's definitely going to want to reroll those defense dice.
The dodge rolled. Oh, Ahsoka only wants to reroll the black one. All right,
Okay.
that should
Yeah,
take care of that.
5 damage is just enough.
Oh.
Man.
And nothing to Zillow.
Nope.
So I think Derek has been not drawing that shared experience when
Indeed.
vehicles go down.
Yeah, if he had remembered, I think it might have actually been quite a different game.
Hmm.
But then again, he's very likely to have Force Surge in hand, so I would get. Wait, what? Why is he only on 11 health? Oh, defensive. Oh, defensible.
Ah,
Oh, snap!
The tank lives to fight another day.
unless he has Force Surge.
Exactly. Exactly. Which again, very likely.
Wow.
What's the last card in his hand?
Who knows? Well,
Yeah, but
I
at
mean,
this point, definitely Ryan's got it in the bag.
yeah. Oh, it looks like holocams are being placed now as well.
Mm-hmm.
GG.
Indeed. So it looks like a win for Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
going on into the finals
Yeah,
against either Tuca or Tyler, I believe.
right. So they're playing next weekend, next Saturday. So we're going to try to catch that game as well. I have been really enjoying Tuca's Force Users Smugglers list. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, it's
Oh,
very
and then-
cool.
So the tank here did manage to survive till the end of the game, but just didn't
Just
do much.
Couldn't kill what it needed
Whoa,
to.
that whiff on Diala was brutal, right?
She didn't even dodge.
I
Just
know.
blocked
It just
everything.
whiffed. Sad.
Indeed. And that's kind of the problem with tank. It's, you know, it's good, but for 9 points you would kind of expect a reroll.
Hmm. What about like a targeting computer?
Indeed. But then again, if you do targeting computer, you don't get retrofitting. But honestly, I do think that targeting computer would be better.
Mm.
Because targeting computer would be a reroll on both attacks rather than just +1 damage
The
on one
maps
attack.
that we have at the moment are not so huge, so you might be able to get away without it. But yeah, the retrofitting is really good.
But doesn't the targeting computer actually take the place of that scavenged weaponry?
Yeah, exactly.
But you could still have the
Oh, okay.
the retrofitting, right?
Yeah, no, you can still have retrofitting. But yeah, you would get rid of weaponry because you can't have 2 attachments anyway.
Yeah.
But still, and I do think that would actually be better because you would get a reroll
On
for both your attacks instead of just +1 for one attack. And that reroll could be +2 damage if you reroll the red 1 into a red 3.
But to be fair, then you don't pass it on to the other figures after
That's
you go
true.
down.
True, exactly. So you'll have to be a little more careful with the tank and make sure it doesn't die, which I think Derek was pretty good with in this game. You know, the tank didn't die. It was
Oh, yeah,
close.
he was very aggressive and made that initial kind of fairly successful opening push.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool because he did that, which then drew out Ryan's Jedi,
Yeah.
and then he ran back to let them be lit up by all of his troopers. Pretty
Isaac,
effective.
do you want to pop in and see if they want to come chat about their match?
Will do.
I think it was just this knowledge and defense added.
Oh, that got a lot of work here
Yeah,
with this list.
that was a frightening amount of defensive ability.
Yes, that was crazy. That made a huge difference. How did you felt Yoda performed?
I think Yoda looks really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know how much health he should have. Yoda feels like he's got more health than he really should at only 4 points to me.
Hi guys, really close match until right at the end there.
Oh, absolutely. It was a super tight game.
Yeah, and we were just remarking about how it stayed at 2-3 for so long. And then at the end it was just
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, sudden.
Gosh,
points.
I feel for you guys because I felt like I was a bit slow in the first 20 or 30 minutes of the game, so I apologize if that was painful to cover.
No.
Not at all.
Low, but there was a lot of stuff going on, and we were discussing about the positioning. So it was really, really cool. Yeah, we were just speculating. There was a lot of speculation.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Derek played a great game. These massive figures are not easy to maneuver around tight maps like this. They definitely made me work for it there.
Oh, and Derek, your tank survived until the very end.
You did.
Yeah, I was pretty thrilled I was able to retreat up there.
Yeah.
But that, with those whiff rolls on Diallo, was just
That was
painful.
We were just
that was
talking
horrible.
about that. So painful. We all cried.
Because just looking at the score right now, if that had gone through, then the officer would not be dead. So Ryan would be down by 2 points, and Derek would be up by 7, and that would have been a win for Derek.
True.
So that it was a big
Officer,
deal.
I was realizing with the math that those 8 points would have tied us and put me ahead on kill points by 1.
Yeah, I
And I was just like,
I would say,
of course, if we're gonna say that, one kill, one damage, then the tank dies, and
yeah, for sure.
Beyond all doubt, I would say knowledge and defense won me that game. I'm curious
My
to
God.
see. I'm curious to see how many times I played it in watching the stream because it felt like a lot.
Yes, we were
Yes, it did.
working on it as well. So the synergy with all your force users felt like it really worked.
Yeah, I feel like previously before IACP, force users were there, but you just couldn't really lean into them to build a full list around.
I've been saying the whole time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's so cool to see you pull it off.
Yeah, here I've got 5 force users and 4 force user cards in the list, and they all work pretty well together. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really great to see because we've seen force users being played because just the figures are strong. Like Ezra being played, obviously Spectracell was a thing. Vader is technically a force user, but we've never seen like really leaning into the force user tag, especially with command cards. But here we can clearly see it being prominent, and Yoda working really well with this team as well.
Yeah, Yoda is fun. He is super interesting in how he plays and what you have to do with him. But I like the fact that you have to position him. You can't just leave him in the deployment zone like you might with Gideon or Jabba or something like that. Like you have to put Yoda out there, and I like that positioning with him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, his damage bounce back ability is really cool too.
It is. You have to be particular with when you use it, but it's a great like mind game for the opponent because they have to consider anytime they're attacking someone in the Yoda bubble, they might take damage back on that.
It's thematic as well for force users to deflect,
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not running the card, but one of the thoughts I had with that is if you're doing Ahsoka and her card next.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Oh my goodness, because you could be looking at 6 or 7 damage, just unblockable.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is insane.
When they throw an attack at you. And that's a scary thing that that's another one of those things.
Logically punishing too, because
Right.
you're expecting to hit them and attack back.
And the opponent doesn't know if you have the card or not. Yeah, I like those mind games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was actually pretty funny because we were just talking about what could Derek's final 3 cards be, and David literally said, "Well, imagine if it's Celebration, Overrun, and Grenadier. Then Grenadier gets played. We see Interleague coming up, and we're like, oh my god, that was correct." Then we
Called it.
and
Nice.
that was a really, really interesting move, which I think was amazing, Ryan, when you got rid of Celebration, because the
Yeah.
game was going to be decided on such a thin margin of points.
Oh
that
yeah,
those 4 points could really have won the game.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I knew one of those was coming, and the other choice, if I get rid of Overrun, then Ahsoka has to deal with 2 strain.
Exactly.
Which, I felt like Celebration was just the easy choice there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations to you, Ryan.
Oh,
and
thanks very much.
And
Really well
to you,
played.
Derek.
Yeah, Derek, great game. That was really good.
Yeah, man. That was super tight. I'm trying to not be super bitter right now, but that's not nothing on you, man. You played a solid game, so.
Yeah, you did it excellent, man. I think the dice were below average for you, and getting this knowledge in defense. I mean, adding that many extra defense dice over the course of the game is just bonkers.
Yeah, it's so strong. I was actually surprised you always add a black die instead of that white die, just to make people scream and rage.
I know I was trying to make the choices kind of attack by attack there. It did feel like I went with black dice maybe almost every time.
I'm with you, Ryan. The white die betrays me. I'm
Yeah.
black die all the way.
Against an attack from the tank, which has no pierce, it's like, yeah, the black die looks pretty good there. Against the sentries, it's a different question with their pierce, but yeah, it's interesting to look at the math. I feel like against jets and the tank, where they don't have pierce, the black die is always going to be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, in some of my other games yesterday, I did lean into adding extra white dice to trigger the rage factor on those dodges.
I mean, you can get 4 or 5 dodges in a game, and then afterwards say, oh, well, if I have a 30% chance of dodging, that was actually about average.
Yeah.
Indeed. And I mean, this is the new level of psychological warfare. You just keep on rolling white die.
Exactly. And then eventually they just don't want to attack anymore.
Exactly.
I did like being able to play one of the new command cards to get behind me early in the game.
Oh, that was great. That was such a good play.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and with that initial positioning, I really wanted to have Yoda be the one to jump out and take the attack from the tank, because I could have bounced some damage back into it, and Yoda would have had a reroll from Kanan. But he was 1 space too far away to get into position there. So my choices were Kanan or Ezra, and yeah, Kanan with the extra dice and the reroll seemed like a good choice. And plus, this card lets you get more movement for guys like Kanan who are really slow to get into the fight. So it's like he can jump up a little bit for future rounds. So I like that card. I think it's a lot of fun.
I mean, I was mentioning, funnily enough, that if you had just let R2 hit that attack, probably nothing would have come from it either, because it didn't do enough damage to take him out either.
Oh, really?
I think R2 would have lived with two health, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
You have to play it before you see the dice.
Right.
Yeah.
Knowing that, yeah.
Yeah, and I was a little worried because if I lose R2 early in the game, he is literally my only source of card draw. I don't have planning. I don't have officers training. Yoda's good for the card mill, but for getting more cards in my hand, R2 is my only thing. So I was like, ooh, I can't lose R2.
Yeah.
That was my thought there. That's what I was really hoping to do.
Yeah, if you could eliminate him, that would have cut down my cards significantly.
big deal. Although you still would have had knowledge and defense in your hand a million times. So
Right.
Yeah, drawing that early makes a big difference.
And speaking of drawing early, Derek, did you notice or did you remember that you had shared experience in your discard pile?
no, oh my goodness.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
That would have made
No.
a huge difference.
The whole
Yeah,
game.
exactly. Because I mean, what you lost? What
3
4?
figures, yeah.
Yeah.
Where you could have redrawn
Yeah.
that. Those extra
Oh my.
blocks.
Siloed or played
Go
it.
with it. Yeah.
Dang.
Yep. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
We live and we learn. We live and we learn.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Thing that
I like.
was realizing was the Diala move was where you moved up, opened the door, and took my terminal.
Yeah.
The card you stopped me from drawing. How about 3 damage tokens somewhere in there? Probably 2 on for both my tank attacks.
Right.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or your Sentry multipliers or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. My Diala didn't do a lot this game, but she lived and she pushed 3PO around a few times. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always feel that the Sentry multiplier is very disappointing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't want to use it, but I felt like my only option was to like really roll well with multiplier and have him blank out and like take out Yoda and 3PO, and that was the only way I was going to win this game.
Yeah.
But nope, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Derek, we were talking about your list because it is really, really cool and evidently strong. But we were considering whether targeting computer might be a better fit on that tank, especially after that Diala whiff. But you know, there were several attacks where you just didn't do quite enough. And sure, the extra 1 damage bouncing around is nice, but a 1.2 reroll on both attacks is better than a +1 damage on one of the attacks.
My theory when I was making the list was I think that's definitely worth looking at, by the way. But my theory was my tank's not going to live. I don't normally expect my tank to retreat to my deployment zone afterwards.
Yeah.
It's kind of like get in there, do damage as much as possible. If you can blast, awesome. And then pass it on to someone else. I usually put it on the sentries then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gives some points to some people, but then multiplier looks a lot more, looks like a better option when one of those attacks can have full damage going through.
Yeah, exactly, because then it's essentially a brutal cleave type thing.
Yeah.
You get to perform an extra attack just slightly weaker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very, very cool.
match.
Yeah. Very
Indeed.
close.
Yeah. Thanks for covering it, you guys.
No worries.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. Eager to see the streams from yesterday and the other top.
Well, most of them.
So Brian, you'll be facing off in the finals against either Tyler, who is playing a pretty standard Scum Hunters list. He says he has weak ways. Maybe he has Lothcats?
No, he's got Boba, weak ways.
Boba weak ways. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Greedo as well.
Tuca, right?
Ryan, you played him already, right? So
Yeah, Tyler and I did actually play yesterday.
Oh, really?
In a super close round 3 we played. And yes, because he had the Scum Hunter list with Boba.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I think in round 2 I played Trevor, who had an Imperial list with Boba Fett brought in, Boba and some jets, and I lost that one largely due to Boba Fett. So then in the next round I was playing Scum Boba, and I made sure to kill him quickly or as quick as I could, and I was able to pull that one out.
Oh, great.
But it's a good list, yeah.
is also playing a rebel list, and that one he has a smuggler force user combo.
Yeah, that looks fun. I
Yeah.
saw that with Hondo and Sasuke.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see either of those matchups, regardless of which one you go up against, Ryan. But I think that could be really cool. Be it the Jedi off, because honestly, when did we when would we say that the finals of a tournament would be between two Jedi lists featuring
Ooh.
Diala? I mean, come on,
Exactly.
And
Or
Sasuke.
Boba Fett.
and
Yes,
Sasuke.
Sasuke.
Sasuke making it to the finals.
That's
Oh
great.
my, yeah,
be
that is amazing.
And that final match is, or the mission that we haven't played yet is which one?
Isn't that Maul's map Gangsters?
That's
Yes,
right.
Correct.
That's right.
Yeah. Mhm.
That will be interesting. Yeah.
Right. Especially with a bunch of melee guys, you can't sit back and snipe gangsters.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It's basically going to be a 3-player game.
Yeah, that will be a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty. Well done to the both of you. That was an amazing game to spectate.
Thanks a lot. And yeah, good game, Derek.
Thanks for coming on, guys, and good luck, Ryan, in the finals.
Thanks, I appreciate
good
it.
luck.
Yes, I'm sure we'll coordinate schedules for that last one. So yeah, thanks again for the streaming.
Yeah, no problem. All right, have a good rest of your weekend.
You guys
Take
too.
care,
Take
guys.
Yeah,
care.
and Ryan, go and win this one, so I feel better about losing to you.
I'll do my best, Derek. I
Hey,
will.
and hey, the exact same for me as well, because we was just talking about that in the beginning, because you two were my 2 losses yesterday. So I just knew I had lost to one of the finalists. So that's great.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
Exactly.
And hey, if you notice,
Yeah.
this time I did not give Derek my my buried command cards like I gave you yesterday.
Indeed. Always good.
My Yoda was milling my cards into the bottom of Isaac's deck yesterday on accident.
Excellent.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not complaining that my Emperor can suddenly use your Force Surge, but hey, sure.
Sure. All right, guys, take it easy.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Adios.
Take care, guys.